afternoon. Among them, Barry Davis.
Here's the man who last Wednesday kept his head when all about him were losing theirs. Mel Sterland saved his team's face from the penalty spot against Chelsea, and now an unchanged side can give answer to just how much almost losing from a position of 3-0 up has shaken their faith. The test couldn't be a better one, and neither could the atmosphere. For the biggest crowd of the season has been drawn to Hillsborough for the visit of the reigning champions. And the knowing in football still refuse to write off Liverpool's challenge. And indeed, since Kevin McDonald was introduced into the team, they've won 4 games and drawn 1 in Cup and League. And there's just one change in their team compared with that which beat Spurs in the Cup last Sunday: the return of Mark Lawrenson at number 4 instead of Gary Gillespie. The referee is Jeff Bray from Hinckley. And looking back on last Wednesday's match, one is entitled to ask, how do you follow that? But certainly the two teams will be trying to, and Sheffield Wednesday looking for their first double over Liverpool since season 34-35. Neil. Ian Rush loses out to Nigel Worthington. Free kick given against Shirtliff. Ronnie Whelan, the furthest to the left. Kennedy, who made the first run. Taken by Dalglish. There's John Walk! Well, I suppose one has to say a typical piece of play by John Walk. Well, the finish was not quite what he wanted, or indeed quite typical, but certainly got there unnoticed, it seemed. Offside decision given yet again. And I must say, if there are spies here from Manchester United, Spurs, Everton, or one or two others, I have no reason to fear this sort of challenge from these two contenders. Sheffield Wednesday perhaps reacting a little bit. This is their 4th match in 8 days. It's a goal kick. It's got through. Dalglish to Rush. Oh dear, and it bobbled just at the wrong moment. It's Dalglish who played him through. And really, the error was by Laurie Madden. But one would have backed Ian Rush to complete the movement. He'd gone wide, as he's quite prepared to do. There was room to slot the ball in, but it bubbled just as he made contact. And away it went. Wednesday throw. Two waiting. Didn't mean those two, I meant two Wednesday players who were in the area. Marwoods. Shelton! It bisected the 6-yard box and was about a yard wide of the far post. Marwood did very well. It was quite tight on the line. It crossed instantly, and Shelton wide with the drive. two home games here have produced 14 goals. The last match against Chelsea in the Milk Cup, enough memories to last the season. I don't think the crowd will be too troubled in remembering what happened in that first half. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Liverpool 0. Well, we're very much under the moon in this match so far, but it will be interesting to see what effect the strong wind now has on Sheffield Wednesday. It's blowing from their backs as they attack the goal to our right. And here's Sterland. Kennedy gave him a chance and then took it away and gets the free kick. Liverpool have had a quiet week. They've not had to play since Sunday, but Wednesday with so much football at the moment. And the big week coming up as well. Got to go to Chelsea again in the Milk Cup, and then they're away to Tottenham in the Cannon League. Kennedy. Lions. Free kick against Shurtleff. Chapman. Another chase, this time for Marwood and Hansen. Playing this way. Wednesday were on top last Wednesday. Grobbelaar with the punch. Alan Hansen's intended back pass. Say Alan Hansen's been having a fine season, but really has not looked comfortable on a number of occasions this afternoon. The same could be said of Lawrenson, although not quite as often. Don't like the windy conditions, Liverpool. Chapman's header, Marwood's goal! Wednesday have the lead in the 57th minute. Marwood's 9th of the season, nothing that Bruce Grobbelaar could do about it. And the goal coming as a result of an awful back pass by Alan Hansen, which produced the corner. With reason to look dejected. Nickel to Neil. More controlled attack, and Sheffield Wednesday not controlled in defence. Dalglish, John Walk. Didn't fall too kindly for him. But it was the best attack that we've seen from Liverpool. Much more concerted, controlled. And Sheffield Wednesday looking for the offside record out. Kick against Chapman. Challenge on Kennedy. It's simply a question of trying to judge the ball in the air. And Liverpool preparing to make their substitution. It's John Walk who comes off, and he's replaced by Paul Walsh. Gets into the action immediately with a good header. Dalglish again. Very much the conductor all of a sudden. Neil. Shelton has to get up rather quickly. Nicol. Mans didn't clear when he should have. Dalglish. Scraped the crossbar. But he started that attack and was so close to finishing it. Much more noise from Liverpool supporters now. Here's Marwood. Little jink inside enabled Bruce Grobbelaar to get the angles all right. And Marwood is down injured. Blair. Rush. Offside. I'm not sure that it was against Nicol, I think against another player a little nearer us. Fair amount of tic-tacking going on from the Sheffield Wednesday bench. So the man whose goal divides the teams, Brian Marwood. And as Gavin Oliver comes on with 7 minutes remaining. Marwood, the scorer, limps off, but he could well have done enough to decide the spoils here. Flag is up. Clear push by Worthington. Nicol keen to get on with it. Rather surprisingly. 5 players to the left of the penalty spot. Near side as we look. Dalglish to take. And Walsh didn't, but coming at the back in the 85th minute was Mark Lawrenson, and Liverpool have saved the day. Inquest going on among the Sheffield Wednesday defenders as Liverpool supporters celebrate. 5 minutes left, 1-1 the score. And Mark Lawrenson's first goal in the league since November 1982 could prove so vital. Curiously, when he scored then, it was one of 5 against Everton, whose challenged Liverpool are now trying to resist, among others. Good substitution, the introduction of Paul Walsh. Liverpool have looked a lot better with him forward and Dalglish in midfield. We're in the last minute. And surely there was enough drama in the last minute on Wednesday night. There's not to be a repeat on Saturday afternoon. But who knows? Here's Nicol, that's a marvellous ball. maybe he was a little hurried. Ronnie Whelan, who played him through, he didn't really give himself too good an angle, for which due credit to Martin Hodge. Rush. Referee has a first check of the watch, and only one is needed, and it ends at 1-1. Liverpool coming back and really playing their best football after the substitution. And a disappointing end, not for those supporters, but for the majority in a crowd of no fewer than 48,246. So more than 100,000 people have watched Sheffield Wednesday this week, but they thought they had the first double over Liverpool since 1934, but they were denied 5 minutes from time by Mark Lawrenson, his goal wiping out the earlier one by Brian Marwood. 1-1 the final score.